Hi all. Tonight we're going to be going over the process of renaming files in the Unreal Engine in the content browser and the possible side effect of renaming things that are active inside of another level that is not currently loaded called redirectors. These could be a massive pain in the butt later on down the line if you don't know about them, and can cause a lot of bugs that just kind of don't really make sense because you'll be deleting a file and it says can't delete it, it's being referenced, sorry, and you have absolutely no idea why or what's going on. So let's get into it. First off, let's go ahead and we got our development level up right here. We got a brand new empty folder called Redirector Example. Let's go ahead and make a new blueprint class. Just make it an actor. It doesn't matter what it is. This will happen with materials, textures, absolutely anything. We'll call it delete me 1. Delete me 1. Notice that name. Now, redirectors are invisible path files, basically. When you rename something that is being referenced by another level that is not currently active, so something that is not active, or something that would be in a different level other than Thomas testing. If I were to rename it, it would create a redirector. Right now, we can't see redirectors because, like I said, they're invisible. The only way to see them is by going to Filters, Other Filters, Show Redirectors. Right now, Filters active, we see no redirectors. I'm going to go ahead and just show a couple of steps of how it's not going to create them, and then show you what happens when we actually do create one. Let's go ahead and first things first, hit F2. We're going to rename this to delete me 2. Let source control do its thing. Absolutely nothing happens. No redirector was created. It just renamed the asset because it is not referenced in any level yet. So let's take things a step further. Let's go ahead and drag this into my level. We see delete me 2 has been added. It is of class delete me 2. No redirector yet. That's because we haven't renamed anything. Let's go ahead and rename it to delete me 3. We've renamed it. It's being referenced in a level. Source control does its thing, and no redirector. Let's go ahead and create a new level now. Just bleh. New level. Yes, I would like to save all these. Now we have a completely empty level. There's absolutely nothing in here. Nothing's in this level, and we're not going to add anything to it. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to F2 and delete me 3. We're going to call it delete me 4 rise of the redirectory. And sure enough, by doing that, a redirector appears called delete me 3. It keeps the name of the old file, the old name of the file that you changed. So what is a redirector? Well, it's basically a file that keeps track of the new location of the file that was renamed. So when the level that is not open checks to see, or when you open it later on, it'll check like, hey, where's that file that I knew about? Delete me 3. It's going to look in the content browser at the path content redirector example delete me 3. Well, if the redirector wasn't there, it wouldn't be there, and it would say, I don't know where this file is, I'm going to crash now. But redirectors say, hey, no, check this destination object. You see the last line there is now game redirector example delete me 4 rise of the redirector dot delete me 4 rise of the redirector. It basically says, and it's called delete me 3. So what happens is the level says, hey, where's delete me 3? This redirector called delete me 3 says, hey, I'm here. Look over there at that file called delete me 4 rise of the redirector. Now, if you just deleted these redirectors, that'd be bad. Reason being is because the level Thomas testing would, or Thomas development would look for delete me 3, and it would not see the redirector. It would see absolutely nothing called delete me 3 inside of this folder, and it would just crash when it tried to access it because it's a null value, an empty path. So why are redirectors bad? Well, there's two known scenarios that are like the big scenarios of why redirectors are bad, for why you don't want to just leave them. They are not bad themselves. They are good. They stop our levels from crashing. They help us. However, leaving them leads to the possibility of you renaming the asset again or deleting an asset that was renamed, and then you have an issue down the line where you're going to get an error. So what are those two scenarios? Well, we renamed delete me 3 to delete me 4 rise of the redirector, right? Now let's delete me 4 rise of the redirector. An error message comes up saying that it can't be deleted because it's in use. We see that there is one reference in memory and assets referencing the pending deleted assets. This is the delete me 3 redirector, which, as we can see by the third line at the bottom there, destination object, it is referencing delete me 4 rise the redirector. So because this redirector is there, we cannot delete the file. If you didn't know what a redirector was and you just saw this, you'd be like, what am I looking at right now? This makes absolutely no sense to me. You would possibly hit force delete down at the bottom here, and that would cause the dreaded crash of the level, or crash of the engine even possibly. The other scenario is we renamed delete me 4 rise, or delete me 3 to delete me 4 rise the redirector. Now we're going to rename delete me 4 rise the redirector back to delete me 3 with the exact same spelling. Well, first off, we already have an issue. An asset exists at this location with the name of delete me 3. If we didn't have this filter on, that would just be weird. Delete me 3. What does that mean? Why is it giving me this error? Oh, again, redirector. So if you actually manage to delete this file, or rename this file, and then you deleted it, the redirector that was created from the first rename will be destroyed, but a new one will be created for the new file that was renamed, and as a result, the first file will not be able to be deleted because it's being referenced. Basically, the redirector stops you from deleting or renaming your files back to what they originally were, which is a pain. So, how do we get rid of these things? Because we don't want to keep them here, and if you rename, or if you have something named badly and you want to rename it, you kind of need to rename it, and we need to do something about that. Well, the answer is we go to the file above. Actually, we did not. We go to the folder above our current folder, so we go back to content, the directory above it. We have redirector example. We know there's a redirector in there, so we're just going to right click on it, and we're going to click fix up redirectors in folder. So we're going to let Unreal and Source Control do their thing, let it go, it's done, we open it up, and look at that, our filter is still active and the redirector is gone. We are free to rename delete me 4 as the redirector to whatever we want to, including delete me 3. By doing so, however, we just created another redirector for delete me 4 as the redirector, which means you have to go back and fix up redirectors in folder again. It's honestly good practice to go through in a long-term project every week and just check for redirectors. You can also just everything in your content browser, right click and fix up redirectors in folder. This could take a long time. Moving over a project from a previous repo, I was cleaning up and reorganizing, and I renamed some, I think it was 200 assets. I had 200 redirectors, give or take, and I did this, which at one point crashed my engine actually, so probably for that many I would not recommend doing this, but for, if you know, there's a few where you're just doing it for weekly maintenance, there shouldn't be that many. But when I did it the second time, took over a half an hour just to go through all the fixing up process. So I would recommend do it frequently. Oh, and also whenever you have whenever you're in source control, any redirectors, yeah, look, these are all has to be checked out from source control because there are redirectors that need to be cleaned up. So I need to go through and do this later, but I'm not gonna do this yet. So yeah, whenever you rename something, be wary of redirectors. They will be there. They will happen. It's an unavoidable part of development. They are not bad. They are there to help us and to save us from accidental crashes. However, we need to take care of them and fix them up when they appear. So that's all for tonight. Have a good one.